Hey everyone, welcome to the Burnt Brass Homestead channel. We harvested our potatoes from the garden in August. However, I am just getting around to posting this video. We could have waited a bit longer to harvest the potatoes, but something was eating them, so we decided to get them out of the ground sooner than later. Overall, we are satisfied with what was harvested. So these potatoes were planted in June. Most of them are russet, but there are a few red and purple potatoes planted as well. Now, the potatoes that were planted here were organic potatoes we purchased from the market to make fresh cut french fries and mashed potatoes. At some point towards the end of winter, I start putting aside potatoes that start to sprout. Normally, I would just remove the tiny sprouts and cook them. However, starting around February, any potatoes that start to sprout, I put aside to be planted in the spring. Now, I know some people are adamant about only planting certified seed potatoes purchased from a nursery or a big box store because they are guaranteed to be disease free. However, I have had no problems thus far planting potatoes that I get from the market that start to sprout, but do your own research on the topic. Potatoes are easy to grow because they do not require much maintenance. We just plant them in the soil, mound the soil on top, then add additional soil as needed to keep the potatoes beneath the soil as they grow. It is important to ensure that the potatoes are covered with soil or leaf compost or whatever it is that you use, because any part of the potato that is exposed to the sun will turn green and become inedible. However, you can plant the green potatoes if you have enough time in the planting season. You can replant those green potatoes and they will sprout or grow new, fresh, edible potatoes. Once the potatoes were harvested, excess dirt was brushed off the potatoes and they sat on the floor in a single layer in our mudroom with a light fan circulating air. The potatoes cured for several days, allowing minor nicks and cuts to heal and the skin to dry and thicken. We only rinse our potatoes when we are ready to prepare them for a meal. Allowing the potatoes to cure greatly increases the shelf life, flavor, and overall quality of the potatoes. However, you can eat potatoes as soon as you harvest them. With the potatoes cured, they are ready to be moved and stored in the basement in these crates, which will allow for good air circulation. I will check the potatoes on occasion to remove any of them that may start to soften or rot before they impact the other potatoes. In addition to that, I will also check the potatoes to determine if it will be best for me to can the remaining before the quality begins to deteriorate. We got a good amount of potatoes considering we neglected them the last month leading up to the harvest. The potato patch ended up with weeds growing around them. With working full time, raising livestock, gardening, harvesting, preserving food, and other chores, things get a little overwhelming at times and things get neglected here and there. In all, we got about 65 pounds of potatoes with little effort growing them. Not to mention, we did not need to buy any seeded potatoes. However, as much potatoes as we eat, we should probably consider doubling the amount of potatoes we plant next year. There were some potatoes that were a little damaged, so I ended up cooking with them the next day. Cooking with the damaged potatoes first, making sure not to waste anything, and adding a little peppers from the garden, onions, seasoning, with a side of homegrown eggs, cheese eggs, and homemade sausage patties. I was able to prepare a nice, hot, healthy, nutritious meal. I just wanted to show how incredibly valuable it is to have a garden. even if on a small scale. It provides a little bit of food security. Thanks for watching.